Game number 2 on the way. P's and B's, pretty please. And we'll see Splyce, the losers, will opt for that first selection. So they're looking for something specific is what this tells me.
Also, we made this entire time without talking about PandaCat's Artemis, which is just kind of crazy. I mean, he was top of the player damage charts. This is the guy who made everyone realize that Artemis was the best hunter right now, and it continues to look really, really good on that pick.
You know what it is, and I think it's almost a testament to the prowess of eUnited and PandaCat specifically, is that when you don't talk about something that dominant because it's just that normal. I mean, I expect, I don't know about we, I don't want to speak on behalf of everybody. I expect when I see PandaCat play Artemis for him to win. I just expect him to at least win the matchup, at least win the lane. I've seen PandaCat lose the game and still get the double kill by himself in lane 1 versus 2. Yep. The guy on the Artemis is just kind of nutty, really scary. First round of bans going out, and eUnited going to ban away both the Artemis and the Naja, leaving the first selection, Chernobog.
Interesting. So eUnited has a choice. Do we give up Artemis or Chernobog? I'm surprised that they ban one of those two. I think the general theory in that spot is sometimes leave both open. Sure, you give up Artemis, but at least we get Chernobog. Maybe eUnited feels that Artemis is far and above better than Chernobog, and so they don't care that the Splyce gets to the newest god, that they just want to make sure they keep Artemis out of their hands.
The thing is that Artemis with the team fight ultimate just devastates late, early, mid. Tusky, as long as you don't Barabor it, does a great job. Whereas Chernobog with that ultimate, yeah, all of the choice, all of the edge cases that you brought up are very, very important. But in the middle of a team fight at the end of the game, the boar is going to be a more impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder now, if United's going to just go for Chang'e. The Ares pick is really early here. Chang'e could potentially struggle if that Moonlit Waltz is forced, but then you can just buy beads. It does keep you away from buying Shell and Med or something like that, Sprint and Med, which we see a lot of the time, but who cares? It's another Chang'e pick for Benji, and I'm surprised that Splyce is so willing to give it up.
Med and beads on Chang'e, more than fine.
Yeah.
More than fine. Keep in mind, this also could be a jungle selection. I think the meta still does offer jungle Chang'e, though after the performance Benji had.
Yeah,
I don't think just give it back to him.
Well, after the performance that Divios had with Hercules a couple days ago, then I didn't think that Splyce would take that away from him, but they ended up doing so in that last game.
Well, there's a difference between what you do and what's correct.
Sure. Absolutely.
I do like the experimentation, though. Jungle Hercules is one of my favorites. Being the luxury of being able to build power on Hercules. Driving strike scales at 90%. The boulder used to scale above 100. Now it scales at 100. I mean, being able to build a Transcendence on Hercules feels really good.
It does.
So I understand why they did it. But yeah, I'm in the camp of feed the hot hand. Just let Divios play the Hercules this time around. Deuce. We're going to see the Snake Lady in the hands of PandaCat.
PandaCat's really been a fan of this pick as of late, as has Divios of the Hades. Now, this could be in the mid lane for the best. I think we should hold off on saying exactly where that's going to go until we see this last pick. Okay, so it is solo, yeah. Gotcha.
I liked, earlier today we saw a minor league team play Hades jungle. Please don't do this.
They might.
Please don't do this.
This could be Raijin jungle for Cyno.
Which wasn't bad when he played it.
Which wasn't bad. It could be Raijin jungle, Hades mid, Hercules solo. It could be Hades jungle, Raijin mid, Hercules solo. It could be Hercules jungle, Hades solo, Raijin mid.
It could be... Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I don't think you put Chernobog anywhere else. I don't think you... I watched somebody try to Ares jungle once. It was not good. But Hercules, Hades, and Raijin, yeah, wherever these gods go should be interesting. But these 3 picks for Splyce are very powerful. Because keep in mind, it's not just, especially with a character like Hades, it's not just, we always talk about how well do you know the god when you play it.
Sure.
But how well do you know the god when you play around it?
Mm-hmm.
And Hades is a character that you can't just kind of go, okay, I'm going to play with this on my team at a competitive level. TheBest has played around Hades for a long time. A lot of these guys have as well. You mentioned the oddball Raijin jungle pick. I am having a lot of fun thinking about what Splyce is going to do. I'm really just excited to sit down and watch it. Again, I think Hercules in either position, jungler solo, is going to be great. Hades is going to be great in the middle lane or the solo lane. No jungle. And Raijin is going to be great in the mid lane or the jungle.
Sure, if you say so.
You don't like Raijin in the jungle?
Nope.
I don't like Raijin in the jungle, period, but I like Cyno's Raijin in the jungle.
Sure. I don't think it's good enough to just be the pick here. I think that I'm definitely giving the best Raijin.
eUnited have Mercury. Who wins? Let's take a look. eUnited, Splyce, game 2.
Tom doesn't like Raijin in the jungle or letting bears live, it would seem, as we move into game 2.
Very, very true. I'm pretty sure it's Hades in the solo lane, Cyno in Hercules in the jungle. I just don't see the Hades going jungle.
No, Divios very much likes this Hades pick, right? He's very comfortable on it. It's something that he can definitely play at a high level. He's talked a lot about it, so I wouldn't be surprised if they give that one over to him and let him kind of run it in solo.
More than likely, it's going to be the Hades in solo. Hades versus Chang'e, definitely an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
Anti-heal versus, well, stick in place, who's kind of the rules there, and can't cast skills. So I'm excited to see this one.
Well, we'll see how it ends up working. What do you all think is going to end up happening here in Game 2? You think Splyce can be able to take us to Game 3, or can eUnited close it out? To Splyce's credit, they very often go to Game 3. They don't get 2-0'd very often.
They do, and this is one of those compositions that you can pull out and surprise people with, and
Yeah.
what a time to try and do something like this, though, in trying to get it off to an early start. No surprise to see it was Divios.
Oh, look, it's Divios playing the Hades. No surprise there, as Divios already off to a pretty good start. Gotten some good poke onto Divios, but Cyno's here to come make sure that that blue buff does end up getting secured for him, so he can come pick it up. No.
Definitely always interesting to see what the build path Divios chooses. He plays the most Hades out of anyone in the Pro League overall, and he's the one that will generally come up with the builds that happen with him. So the fans at home will be like, yeah, I'm going to play this in my Aggros rank games tonight. That's what the plan is. So Ratatouille into Warrior's Blessing. So definitely able to weather the storm in terms of tanking up in the early game, and then building towards a Rod, which is going to give him the health and the power that's going to allow him to stay in those fights and eat the punches from the Mercury as the game goes on.
It does mean that Cyno is going to be playing this Hercules in the jungle last game. And, I mean, if you had to give it a grade, I mean, Graham, how'd you like Cyno's Hercules in Game 1? Good enough to try the same thing again here in Game 2?
I'll give it a 6. That's about it. About a 6 is how it will go down.
Is that what kind of grades that you all had in England? You graded on 6?
Out of 10?
Oh, 6? What? No, grades, like on a letter scale.
Well, so what do you do? A to F, and U is awful?
What is a U?
It means you didn't even write your name right.
What?
Is it U? There used to be a classification as
like
U.
Unfulfilled, undescribed,
yeah.
unsubmitted, something like that?
I can't remember what it stood for.
I don't know. What is this? How did this end up difficult? A through F?
I'll give it like a C+. How's that? Is that okay?
Yeah. C++. Like a programming
No, not
joke?
plus. That's programming.
Yeah. You didn't want to do. I was trying to help you do a programming joke, but you didn't want to do it. That's fine.
What kind of, we're not nerds like that. We're video game nerds.
Oh, yeah, we're different kind of nerds,
We're casters. We're not like designers or anything like that. Like, geez, if we designed, Erlang Shen would have a skin that was reversed.
Oh, where you could be the mink and turn into Erlang Shen?
No, you be the dog, his pet.
Oh, you be the dog?
You play as the dog.
That is good.
Erlang Shen's there with a little staff stabbing people.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't be a bear,
yeah.
though, or you might get murdered.
No, you can't do a bear nowadays. It's rough trying to be a bear in this day and age.
It really is.
Even Bacchus and his honeypot skin is a little bit worried about things now with how Tom's been just lately.
And it's one thing to break the legs, but then to break the legs, kill them, and insist they're still fine and healthy and alive. What a monster.
Yeah.
As Cyno takes a ton of damage here in mid.
He'll be alright though. He's still obviously a Hercules in the jungle with a couple of potions in inventory, and obviously the Assassin's Blessing will heal him up in the jungle anyways. He kills some camps, and it doesn't take long for a Hercules to really clear a camp once he's got that driving strike.
But he is going with Blink again, as is Aror. This competition really feels like they need to get off to a strong start, doesn't it? With the Ares and the support role, Cyno on the warrior jungle. They certainly have the damage and the ability too. We'll see where they end up trying to focus. Cyno with some ganks over in duo could really be strong.
Well, with the heavenly agility change, we see less of the supports going for that first item, but what we do see because of that is that Mike is able to go for this horrific emblem, and I love this item pickup here, Finch. This is going to do so much work to this team. It's about mobility from Splyce to get in range to land these abilities, and if you're slow to high heaven, how are you going to be able to even wade all the way up if you're consistently slowed? Sprint is the answer to dealing with the horrific emblem, but nobody has one for the first 12 levels.
And it's so funny because it's basically the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's speeding us up or slowing you down are essentially the same. So if they feel like they can't get heavenly wings anymore, then just go over to the horrific emblem and draw and use that one. As Cyno had come over to duo, didn't really look for the gank, just came and helped secure their purple, and now he's back here hanging out with the best.
And it's not just the movement speed. Once you upgrade that, you're going to get the attack speed reduction too, which is really going to make some impacts, especially against some of these. It's basically mainly for CycloneSpin there at that point, to try and slow down some of those basics and cause some less problems.
Well, I talked about how Splyce wanted to get this one going early, but the mid-game for eUnited is nothing to scoff at either. We've seen how strong Mercuries can be lately with the ton of pressure that they have. Get to that mid-game and have a Venenu on the Janus trying to help out, but Scream
Lane gank.
got a sonic boom. He's ready to come crashing down the lane, but PandaCat and PolarBearMike aren't here just yet.
No, they're hanging around the corner a little bit. They want the dual lane to push out from Splyce before they go for this gank, so Scream doesn't end up in tower line. He's trying to stay at maximum range so they don't see him, but I'm pretty sure that Splyce have an idea something strange is going on by the way United's dual lane were positioned.
Yeah, they kind of had a sense that,
froze the
something
wave.
was going on. Yeah, they did not move out any further. They're going to stay right here where it's nice and safe.
But that's one of the things that Mercury brings to the table that some junglers don't, is the inevitability of a lane gank that comes out of nowhere and you don't see it coming, because he's just out of vision on the other side of the map at his own tower. The fog of war just prevents that.
Yeah, not something Cyno is going to be able to match on this Hercules. You definitely know when Cyno is coming in and try and start something up, so Scream going to need to make the most of that. And he really has sort of, I feel like, been the big consistency factor for eUnited. And that wasn't always really the case from Scream or Verizio, whatever he goes by now. But definitely it's felt like here in Season 5 he's been consistently performing for him.
Now it's going to be an interesting game for Aror here too, because he's got the blink for looking for the no escape initiations, and he'll be playing relatively passive in the laning phase until he hits that level 5. But when he does hit 5, he's going to have to deal with a lot of damage that's going to be flying his way the whole time. If he attempts to blink initiate, you've got the ultimate from Terra that's going to reduce the damage it's going to do and also amplify the damage that's going to be done to yourself in response. There's a good chance that eUnited could look to exploit this Reese as the game goes on.
And it's going to be very hard to pull PandaCat. He has the Petrify with CC immunity, he has beads as well. He's going to need to be pulling all the time or waiting until everything's been expended if he really wants to be able to capitalize on it. It's kind of not the easiest crew to punish here.
eUnited definitely in the driving seat though. You just saw them steal away that red buff uncontested. Splyce with a couple of members heading back to base, and Cyno couldn't do anything about that on his own. Couldn't even arrive in time there. So already eUnited off to a good start. The mobility of this team and the pressure in the duo lane is what's really allowing them to do this.
Divios is forced back to base as well, but he has the teleport, so he's able to come right back in. Kind of have to do that, though, to try and match up with Chang'e, who can buy items with her passive with that rabbit. So kind of have to go back, buy, and come back in just to stay relevant with her in lane.
Yeah, Aror just wants to hit level 5 in mid lane now, just rotating around a little bit, trying to let CycloneSpin catch up, keep even pace with PandaCat because of how the dual lane has begun. You can see that the dual lane has a level lead. That's where most of the experience is at the moment.
Yeah, it's over PandaCat, over CycloneSpin, who's on the Chernobog, our new god, who certainly can make some big-time rotations. Once he starts to feel comfortable, gets a few items online. Gonna have to do something to try and match up with Venenu with the through space and time that they have available. Even Sonic Boom, to some extent, can cover a lot of ground pretty quickly, too. So they're gonna need a lot from Cyclone.
Definitely not the safest god in the world is Chernobog. The main thing you've got to look out for is making sure he stays away from the walls so he can't turn into that living shadow against it. The one key thing, though, is the ultimate definitely takes you out of combat for a long period of time, but very susceptible to know and predict where you're going to end up going. It's good for escape. It's tricky on engagement.
That's right. He's going to be going towards someone's shadow, those shadows that he creates next to you that's providing that slow and making life so miserable for everyone else on the other team. A Scream lurks here in the jungle. Looks like Divios probably recognizes this. He's not coming outside the tower line. He actually has a nice rotation coming over in the form of Aror, TheBest, and Cyno. So, yeah, Scream lucky he got out of there.
The main thing that Benji's doing here is just trying to keep Divios from staying topped up on health. So they can't use his damage for damage. He has to use it for sustain more often. And he's just keeping Divios pinned back from being aggressive in this lane. The problem is Scream's getting a little bit frustrated at the moment. He's going to be looking towards mid lane now. Because at the moment, Splyce is just playing around the Mercury so well, recognizing that where is he on the map? Okay, dual lane might be in trouble. Let's just play passive. Same could be said for Divios in the solo lane. Frustrating the Mercury early is allowing Splyce to get online now.
They're even able to come grab their own red buff despite some of the aggression United had here before. So sort of kind of putting the brakes on a little bit to stay away from this Mercury early on. But again, you know, you definitely want Ares to be able to get to a good start. He's one of those ones that can punish in lane. Cyno on the Warrior. eUnited probably not feeling too bad if there's a slow play, as Aror has to blink to avoid the wall. Goes into the no escape. Earth and Fury comes out in response. Sonic Boom goes through too. Aror's low, and he will fall for first blood to Venenu.
And you saw that coming before it even happened. Meanwhile, Scream got a little bit out of position here. Cyno could give chase with the blink. Earthbreaker was good, but a double kill at the same time for Venenu in the mid lane. 2-for-1 exchange, and we could have seen that coming out. Expected that from Aror, you know, the blink ult, and then immediately Terra pops the ult in response and goes, all right, bro, cool. You know, you're going to have a good time now because you're going to take more damage.
Well, CycloneSpin might be in trouble, and so for Venenu, he just barely makes it to the portal, but now the collapse is onto the Chernobog. Lacerate catches him out. He does drop some damage in return, has to use purification beads just to get away safely. But to go back to that last fight, Venenu getting 2 early kills, one of them first blood, that's going to cause problems.
Yeah, and a lot of that was really just started off by Aror's initiation, thinking he found a prime target, but the bad news is Scream was just hovering immediately behind. And the fact Scream just stayed out of range, didn't go straight in on Aror, waited for the right moment, allowed Venenu to also collapse. Aror needs to be careful of Scream.
Yeah,
He's got no beads.
He might be in trouble again. Special delivery sends him right back. Does land the chain onto Scream, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Aror now takes his second spill. Was looping around for the aggression, but Scream was just right there. It was good timing.
Just one more basic from CycloneSpin would have probably killed Scream there because he had 2 procs of his passive. Those crystals sticking out of Mercury's backside would have been 3, and it would have detonated to probably pick up the kill with the extra damage coming from it.
Give CycloneSpin maybe a chance to get back in, but to no avail. They couldn't quite find it. Aror's got to make sure he's a little bit more careful. They don't have much vision on this duo side. If he's going to go for a play like that, got to have some idea of where Scream's at.
Venenu, though, going to easily invade the red buff now with the pressure that he's got with a 2-level lead over TheBest. Aror on the rotation back from spawn, but Ares from behind, we always talk about it's one of the trickiest gods in the world to play at that stage because at that point, you're kind of a bead spot, and that's about it.
So I was a little bit curious, you know, that Aror, or not just Aror, but Splyce in general, willing to play so slowly as Cyno goes aggressive, trying to look at the back camps of Scream, but he takes a bunch of pokes. Sonic Boom for the stun. Benji's here. The boulder does allow him to avoid the CC, but only for a second. Benji finds the kill. Now Aror is in trouble. Venenu comes through with the portal and takes down the support for Splyce. eUnited very quickly out to an early lead.
Yeah, eUnited's just put the foot on the gas this game, and they're not going to stop, I think. They're trying to just put the brute force to Splyce before they can really get online now. The first few minutes of the game, it looked fine for Splyce. We can get to the mid-game, we can get our team as a whole and cause some problems. And eUnited went, nope, 1 pick, and it turns into almost 6 kills.
Very nearly. Scream looked like he might be in some trouble. Best being aggressed on underneath the tier 1 tower. Tycho Drums keeps him alive, but PolarBearMike has the dash. There's that 6 kill you wanted, as it's TheBest who ends up falling. PandaCat now pressuring CycloneSpin, who has good turnaround potential. Petrify doesn't land. Cyclone goes up and right back down, and is able to look for more damage.
Yeah, this is an interesting trade. The minions make into play. The juke off the wall was beautiful. He just baited PandaCat to look the wrong way. He came out straight away as well. He could have just allowed the minions to pick up that kill. But PolarBearMike answers back. Cyno still here, and Aror gets Venenu.
That's a kill very, very much needed. Aror was 0-3-0 and was able to take Venenu down. PolarBearMike does come in and even that up by killing Cyclone, and Cyno cannot punish it, so they trade a lot across the map.
Yeah, I just noticed it was a stone of banning for Aror that really helps him out there. I was like, how did he manage to do that? Obviously, Ares has a lot of damage. If he catches Janus without beads and no ultimate, he's going to have a hard time. And I think the stone of binding, which will give himself penetration, was enough to actually bring down that mid lane on his own.
Trying to come strip the speed buff away from Cyno, not quite enough. In fact, Cyno moving to the jungle aggressively, but everyone's out of there. Scream quite fast with that hasten katana already.
But our Splyce needs to be looking towards now CycloneSpin. He's the only one in a dominant position now in this lane after finding that kill there. They should be looking to try and empower CycloneSpin in this game. They'll be playing through him in the later stages anyway, so maybe start to watch Cyno look to this left-hand side, try and keep the pressure on the Medusa.
And to be fair, Divios has managed to get a little bit ahead of Benji, despite how this lane started out with Benji kind of forcing Divios back very well. But now he's got that Warlock staff stacking. I think Divios has been kind of freed up to move into the lane aggressively and has earned himself a good spot. But CycloneSpin might be caught.
Not a good spot.
He dashes into the wall, but where can he come out? He doesn't have the ultimate available either. He's stuck. Almost gets the turnaround, but PolarBearMike finds him first.
You walk blind into the jungle and you find 3 enemies as a Chernobog with only a dash into a wall to escape. Not going to have the easiest times. There's not a whole lot of Aror there can do to help either, if you think about it. He's not one of the Guardians that's there for the real, I will protect you. He's more of like, I will help kill them.
Right. He's a little bit more like Peel because he kills them rather than like a Geb Shield or Scare's
That's the best
Blessing.
form of Peel, Finch.
You can't kill someone if they're dead, and you can't contest the Gold Fury if you're not here. Splyce without CycloneSpin and Aror forced out. Gotta just give that one up.
And that just puts Cyclone back onto an even keel, if anything, with PandaCat. If not, puts PandaCat in a potential more dominant position because he's able to continue farming up here. And so Splyce's little window there that they could have looked to help out Cyclone is gone, and now Cyno, He's looked for these harpies a couple of times, and he's been out of position a couple, and now Divios could die for it.
Sonic Boom hits him. He goes back in looking for some healing, but not able to find it. Scream takes the portal to catch him as soon as he comes through. Even with Pillar of Agony, it's not enough. Scream able to take down the solo laner.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the whole roster now of Splyce and the KDA. He's just giving you a story where things aren't going that well so far. Really, only Cyno in the jungle is, well, relatively even, with only 1 death and 1 kill, whereas his lane opponent, or at least his jungle opponent, Scream, with a slight lead in experience and in kills.
United have really gotten off to a better start here in this game, and it's been a lot based around Scream. He's done a great job for them this game. But take a look at PolarBearMike. I mean, how often is your Terra 3-0-4? He's having a great game too, as Benji in some trouble. 2-man Waxy Moon gets him away, but now TheBest is rotated in. Taiko drums should be the control they need. PolarBearMike comes in, but Benji has already fallen.
Nice Taiko drums out of Best. That was beautiful. He just held it for that extra second to make sure his team could collapse, but Cyno got pinned by Scream, and Venenu followed up.
Aror blinks in aggressively, does have CycloneSpin here in to assist. The chains are still on Venenu, but he's not going to be able to make it out. Now Aror has committed very heavily, and a chance for Scream to help punish. But Splyce aren't even fighting. They're going for Pyro while Aror gets deleted.
Space and Time just came through to remove Aror, and that's just going to release the pressure on the Pyromancer. Meanwhile, what's going on the left-hand side? Because we saw Cyclone rotate here, it means Medusa gets a free tower.
PandaCat can't fly, so instead he's just going to take the tier 1 tower, and he'll keep pushing until someone stops him. Sonic Boom leads him right into the Pillar of Agony. Can't out DPS. Not with CycloneSpin there to help.
Just want to say, good ult from Divios. He recognized Scream was about to go for the ult and ulted himself to make sure he didn't get CC'd. In the end, it ends up costing the Mercury his life. And now we've got a bit of a bloodbath on our hands, Finch, at 15 minutes in.
But overall, I mean, how much does Splyce really get for that? They weren't able to get the Pyromancer. PandaCat was able to get the tier 1 tower, and they were relatively even in kills. You can kind of see from the charts that favor just a little bit eUnited.
But notice if the team fights do go into straight 5v5 at this point, the Splyce can still contest right now.
Right.
They still have the opportunity to be aggressive and try and take these fights and go at eUnited. That composition they've put together here is all about aggression too. It's not about self-peel. It's more about get in there and get the job done.
To be fair, it wasn't quite even. PandaCat couldn't be there, and CycloneSpin had a nice impact in that fight. But you're exactly right. Splyce clearly using their mobility are still able to kind of hang out with eUnited. Yeah.
For now, but the goals and experience will keep adding up if they keep losing some objectives. And the next Gold Fury at 2 minutes time, that's where we'll be looking towards. If the Pyromancer stays where it is, one team will probably get gold, the other Pyromancer or Fire Giant, as we saw in Game 1.
That's right. eUnited, I feel like, are one of the best teams at making sure they never give up anything for free. After a fight, when you're trying to go back to base, eUnited are looking to steal something from you. As Scream rotates in, catches Divios the second that he uses the dash. Doesn't have that available. Does have Pillar of Agony, but won't even get to use it. Divios falling to the Benji Scream combination.
Interesting to see Benji use his Waxy Moon for damage there more than CC.
During the,
it was more for the damage more than anything else there, because they knew the only thing Divios could do to follow up off of that was to ult himself, so he wasn't going to get CC'd again. Why not just go for the damage, tear him down quick, and knowing that Scream can't escape the ultimate out from Divios, and instead makes it easier to punch him in the face.
Yeah, I like that you point that out. That wasn't about extending the CC chain at all. It was 100% about just more damage, and it definitely worked out for them. And you know that Benji is making that call because that's the best way to get that kill into Divios, and they were able to bring him down. Now eUnited able to grab Pyromancer on the back end, have a 6,500 gold lead, and the experience is only getting worse at about 8,000 already. 17 minutes in, eUnited seem to be in firm control.
Yeah, it was just the speed out the blocks that eUnited came in this game that Splyce haven't really had an answer to. Once Mercury hit 5, Scream has just been rotating around, looking for a pick, and he felt like he was probably going to get frustrated. But wait, Space and Time, where's he going?
They've already used it. They might be looking for Cyno. Waxy Moon's used, but he has beads available. Scream can't lay in the Sonic Boom. Venenu has the Unstable Vortex. Divios goes to the Pillar of Agony to zone everyone back. Best is here too. eUnited commit 3 ultimates and can't find a kill.
Nope, everyone going to get away for the time here. But Cyclone's now turned up, using that Nightmare to get in range. Cyno going to follow up now, looking for the Earthbreaker, but just off the mark. Aror
blinks in, looking for the no escape, pulls them all back into the boulder. CycloneSpin takes down Venenu. Benji and PolarBear might eat the Taiko drums, but they're still okay. Thunder crashing aggressively. They want Benji. Double kill now for CycloneSpin, who came flying in on the Chernobog. They're going to lose the tier 1 tower, but they found 2 picks.
Really good call from Scream there, but he realizes he's out of the mana, can't get involved in that fight at all, so goes mid, joins PandaCat, gets to tier 1, make sure that even though they lose kills, they get an objective, but the Fire Giant is being done here. Cyno can't handle both the carries at the same time. And now that means Splyce is going to fall back. Oh my God, PandaCat. Beautiful.
Hits the two-man Petrify, and that's turned this entire fight around. They come down to help Cyno instead of doing Fire Giant. Now into 2 for 2. They did get the tier 1 tower in mid, but Screammmmm is trading autos with CycloneBest in trouble as well. PolarBearMike takes him down. 4 members of Splyce sent back to base. eUnited answer back in a huge way.
And the way they answer back is basically Splyce, 3 men on the Fire Giant, like, hey, we can bring this down. This will be a free Fire Giant for us. Cyno ends up tanking both Screammmmm and PandaCat. And then he ends up falling. As soon as he does, Splyce is like, oh, those two are still here? Well, I guess we're going to have to deal with it. Nobody expected the ultimate out from PandaCat still being available.
And he was able to find the nice 2-man stun. Divios is going to try and stop this
Hero
Gold
play.
Fury. Venenu's here. Blink in silent. Splyce.
Got it.
Do steal the Gold Fury. Now Pillar of Agni to try and trade back out and see if they can out DPS. The
Good
portal
ball, Venenu.
is going to catch him. Divios goes underneath, but does end up falling. But this is what eUnited does. Even though that fight went the way of Splyce over on the right-hand side, again, they're not going to give up something for free.
No, they're not. And that was a nice little play from Divios to go in and get the Gold Fury. It cost him his life, granted. The ultimate after the fact, not so sure about, although it showed a nice little play out Venenu. He actually pulls underneath Divios, not to catch Divios, to portal himself so he doesn't take as much damage during the ultimate. Nice little play from Venenu.
That's right. It is a self-banish, so you're able to get yourself out of there for a little while. And
Best thing to do against Thanatos.
that's right. Yeah, if the ultimate's coming down like for the execute,
Yeah.
yeah, gets you out of there. So there's definitely some nice interactions as eUnited still have a very strong lead. The experience getting worse and worse, and they're still not level 20. It's still fully relevant. The 4-level gap between Screammmmm and Cyno, the 2-level gap in the mid and solo lane, very much still being felt.
Yeah, the only time you ever really feel the experience not being required is when everyone's hit level 20. And until your team hits level 20, that's when you can start going, okay, the experience isn't going to matter as much as time goes on. We need to start putting this to bed before they catch us up.
Well, eUnited grouping now around the Fire Giant. It was Splyce who looked at it before, but they came off of it to try to come to the aid of Cyno. In the end, they not only could they not keep him alive, they end up losing quite a bit off the back of it, and they're falling back very much so. Look how far eUnited are pushed into the jungle of Splyce.
I love the call from Screammmmm too. Do a bit of split pushing. He's playing Mercury. Who's going to rotate over to stop him? Someone's going to have to consistently be there. Love the fact that CycloneSpin's the one to do it, though, with that ultimate they can get across the map. But Fire Giant is being done by eUnited.
eUnited have it pulled. It's going to be Divios who moves into the arena first, but he takes way more damage than he bargained for. PandaCat finds last shot. Aror now controlled. Cyno does hit a nice push into the boulder. Aror looking for chains. That pulls PandaCat in, and Venenu's able to find Aror, but TheBest with the Tycho drums does take down PandaCat. Best ends up giving over a double kill to Venenu. It's 4v2.
It was a 4-on-5 to start off with because CycloneSpin never left that lane. Had his ultimate available, was just pushing up the left-hand side.
He's still there.
He's going to need to ult over here to try and defend. Cyno's going to go in and find out, and here comes the ghosts.
Now CycloneSpin is going to come flying in, goes into
Good
the
hide.
wall, but he's inside the Fire Giant pit. They know right where he is. He avoids the stun. He's slowly trying to walk away, but he doesn't have a dash. He doesn't have an ult. Aegis is used to try and immune some damage, but he just ends up falling. At this point, he rotated so late, he might as well have just stayed in duo.
Delay tactics, that's what they're really after here, Splyce. If they could just delay United doing the Fire Giant long enough, then maybe they get the respawn through, maybe they can turn this around again, but not to be the case. United get the Fire Giant. An attempt from Splyce to defend, obviously that's what it was, but it just didn't work out.
Fire Giant is definitely going to go down to eUnited. They have about a 10,000 gold lead, and they're waiting on everyone to respond to, being patient with it so they can get it over to PandaCat.
Yep.
And now we're starting to cross over to that threshold. That 10,000 gold mark is usually that area when it starts to become very, very difficult to fight into.
And the key about making sure that Medusa gets that Fire Giant, she is the damage dealer for towers more than anything else.
Yes.
The physical auto-attacking hunters are the ones that really bring down towers and phoenixes very quickly, as well as objectives too. So making sure they have it. That Fire Giant buff, so important to them in the hunters. Red buff, more important to every mage.
Yeah, look at that structure damage. It's all Medusa. Now, to be fair, they haven't really sieged that much structures just yet, so that's not too indicative. But absolutely, they're very reliant on Medusa. Now, Screammmmm should have a good amount too on this Mercury if he can get up to the wall. As Aror blinks in, they do land the chains. Thunder Crash here. Petrify not going to stun TheBest. He goes up to the Tycho drum. So all that waiting, they end up losing the Fire Giant buff anyway, but Screammmmm catches out TheBest.
Yeah, they knew the rotation was coming in. That's why PandaCat didn't even use his beads there. He was just trying to hold fire for a little bit longer. Hope his teammates could help him out, but he uses the beads towards the end. We mentioned the Fire Giant buff, you know, being good on the Medusa, but he's not going to have it now. They've also got a tier 2 tower on this left-hand side, however.
But that it kind of is probably why Splyce are willing to take this trade, right?
Yep.
It does
You're right.
slow eUnited down a bit. Now, if they can get Mercury up to the Phoenixes, it should still be fine, but they won't have the luxury of those ranged autos being the sustained damage on the structure.
But the Magi's Cloak's really useful here. Divios should just be cancelling those out right about now if he can. Cyno goes to the back looking at Venenu, but Venenu just pulls himself and picks up Cyno. Waxing Moon came into play, gets the beads out of CycloneSpin.
Scream is in a hole, or actually dealing a hole in trouble for Cyno. Venenu gets the last hit. Divios is the only one still standing. CycloneSpin just respawned. Isn't even able to get any healing off. Double kill for Venenu with the Unstable Vortex. Everyone's back up. Best Aurora and Cyclone all here, but Phoenix on left-hand side is eventually going to end up falling.
Yeah, Cyclone's probably going to fall too. He's got no beads left either, so he's going to end up falling down there. Next on the list, who's up? Well, they're going to go for the Titan. I'm not so sure about that call. Without having PandaCat here, they could really do with it. Instead, they'll go to mid for those towers.
Yeah, they are going to go back and grab the tier 2 in mid, tier 2 in solo still standing as well. That did take longer without PandaCat, but the problem was they didn't have enough members there to defend. So United kind of were able to just walk right in and take it.
Cleanest performance out of eUnited I've seen in a hot minute, to be fair. They've had a lot of
really
back and forth encounters recently. This one is looking really clean against an opposition that has been rising in North America to be a top 3 potential team coming to the LAN. eUnited trying to show that they are still up there and should be going to LAN.
PandaCat's still not even here, and eUnited are moving in aggressive. The wall clap not going to land, but Sonic Boom is. The target's going to be on the left-hand side. Cyno in trouble, able to make it out. Aror goes in looking for the chains, does pull back in PandaCat. You try to use the Petrify to zone everybody away. Divios dropping the Pillar of Agony, but they're just going to kill him inside it.
Just don't have the damage Splyce to turn around and get the kill. They're having to use their ultimates off cooldown to try and defend, which means they're not being grouped together. Oh, and he caught him on that dash. That's going to be painful. That's a Phoenix. That could be game.
Through space and time, cuts through, takes down the best. 5v3, Cyno, Aror, and CycloneSpin, the only ones to keep the set alive, and potentially their land hopes alive as well. A lot on the line as eUnited bring the Titan down below half HP. Cyno getting forced back, not even going to make it to the base. He falls. 5v2, PandaCat gets the kill credit. They're not even looking for the Titan. They want more kills. eUnited going to take the set over Splyce.
I mean, they will eventually. They're just making you waste your breath. That's what they were trying to do there.
Yeah.
You know?
But then I recognized that they were, you know, looking for farming extra kills, and I kind of backed out. Yeah.
You get used to that. I generally say like 4 or 5k player damage off every player at the end of this season for games like that.
That's right. A lot of their damage is really coming from here. Fake damage, as we say. I like fake news.
But eUnited, like, honestly, they look absolutely fantastic today. Game 1, a little bit closer than Game 2 was, but I really think Splyce have done a lot this season, look great for themselves. Still not going to make it to LAN, I don't think now. eUnited put themselves in a very prime position. Yeah.
Yeah, eUnited come out and look very strong here. And Splyce are no slouches. Like you said, they're very much on the up and up right now and have been improving. So a very impressive win from eUnited to do it so cleanly. And who from that eUnited squad is going to be your MVP? Go ahead and vote for us now.
Probably Scream from my point of view. I think he had a good impact at the start of the game, didn't get frustrated early. As the game went on, there was opportunities that Splyce had that because Scream hung around with very low mana, actually turned it around and set up the chance for the win.
That's right, still providing plenty of auto attacks. Definitely a case to be made for Benji, I believe, as well on that
That's
Chang'e.
fair.
Always looking strong. But
Business.
I think you can almost always give it over to the Chang'e, just that strong. But
Yeah.
we'll let the desk go ahead and break down that set.
Thanks a lot, friends. Getting ready here to break down this one and kind of stuck in the middle between watching this one and kind of just rooting for it. Great stuff coming out from Splyce, but unfortunately not great enough.
No, eUnited continues to prove that they are the de facto team to beat right now in North America. It's never one guy that you could say, okay, if we can shut him down, we're going to win this game, because then Scream is going to have a game like this, or Venenu is going to have a game like this. I mean, they went a combined 18-4 in the mid jungle. 18-4.
That sounds like a really tall guy.
I don't get that. I'm not there at
Like
all.
he's 18'4"? Like
You're-
instead
you're
of
saying
5.
18 feet tall, 4 inches.
Yeah, it's like a really tall guy.
Okay. Sure, Tom.
Yeah?
Literally any number would be a really tall guy. I
Yeah.
could say 37 and a 50, and you'd be like, that's a tall guy.
No, it's not. Why would you say 50? It's got to be less than 12 for it to be foot.
It doesn't talk about Scream.
He's MVP. Great stuff coming out from the jungler. 7.5 KDA with a ton of damage on top. And I like the way Hinduman said it. Just didn't get frustrated early on. I mean, the Mercury isn't going to have that level 1, level 2 prowess. It's all about the crit, and that's what he did.
I mean, I don't even think Scream went for crit in that game. He went for the Hasten Katana, the Stone Cutting Sword, that sort of pen build, and that's where Mercury can be dangerous because you can go crit, absolutely, in the late game. Or you can go for this sort of build where you're just trying to stick on to the enemy targets and force them down. Raijin's a character that'll sometimes go up into that Taiko drums and be kind of vulnerable. How do you deal with a Mercury who's just like running around punching you with that Hasten Katana? It's very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it is over and over again. Great job again coming out from Scream. But, you know, this is just the summertime. Watching all these guys sort of get ready for the fall split should be very exciting as we barrel towards it. Teams really try to pick it up. We're trying to make Summerland, most importantly. That's the next stop on our calendar.
But, I mean, everyone is looking towards that summer split and the summer finals, of course. But fall split, SWC placement stages, the World Finals at DreamHack in November. That's where you're really looking towards for sure.
Yeah, the players got to play through a whole bunch, and you just got to buy the tickets. HRX Expo, or hi-rez Expo, excuse me, .com. hi-rezexpo.com. There you go. I got it right. Smite, Paladins, console, PC, a whole bunch of other esports as well. And, of course, most importantly, this is going to be in the heart of Atlanta. Big-time stuff there. It's, listen, Cobb is nice. Alpharetta is an interesting place. The middle of the city, a whole bunch of other esports. I mean, you really can't say no to that.
No, it's going to be a different feel, and I think in a positive way. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you haven't seen the city of Atlanta before, this is a great opportunity to do so.
And, of course, at home, y'all having a lot of fun with this Odyssey vote thing, right? I'm very happy sitting here. So first and foremost, my girl Freya should have been up here. Let me just say that. I have my position. I have my platform. I'm up here. Freya should have been on here. Freya should have won, but we were pushed back from the beginning. No Freya on the bracket. So in lieu of Freya, and with Nemesis getting knocked out in the second round, Ganesh. Who was that?
Are you serious right now?
Ganesh. Who was that?
That was you doing an awful Ganesh.
Is that actually Ganesh? Is he
okay,
here?
Wait. I need to...
Ganesh.
Can we take a step away for a second? I want to make sure that you are not, like, that this is a bit that you're doing and you don't actually think that's a good Ganesh impression. Because it is important for you to know that impression sucks.
That is a great impression, first of all. Let's hear yours.
It literally doesn't matter what mine is. Here's my Ganesh impression. Ganesh! And it's better than Tom's. Because or at least the same.
Ganesh.
Why are you covering your mouth?
It's like part of the... I'm a
really
voice actor.
It's not helping it.
Ganesh.
I have to cast with this guy next game. Can you believe that?
Here, this is
It's
Ganesh.
SSG versus Trifecta. Go get ready.
This is Ganesh tossing to it.
No,
PlayStation Gaming.
Can we just...
Trifecta. We'll see you soon. Ganesh.
Hello gamers, Best Taco Gamer here, letting you guys know that we've got some pretty funny stuff coming your way, and I'm sure that you'd love to get all the laughs in with the rest of us here at hi-rez.
Another one. Another one. It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
It's me.
Space Station can't stop this pick. We'll see how it ends up working in action and get it over to the dancing casters.
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself.